Right, 2 minute drill time. Getting ready here for a special 2 minute pop culture this year. We're talking about Survivor 50, the 25th anniversary of the show. Obviously, they brought a whole new cast of returning players back here, 24 from the run from 2000 all the way to last year, technically. And join me today to talk about it. Guy, I haven't talked about this on the pod with, I think, since the days of COVID. We're talking about winners at war. Dan DeMartini back with us. Dan, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Obviously, we are winding down the trader season, so I'm so happy to get Survivor back and just really excited to talk about 50. I mean, here we are. It's amazing. We all watched season one. I'm sure everybody listening, even if you don't watch Survivor, you probably watched the first couple of seasons of Survivor, and here we are at 50. So pretty cool.
I'd say most people, if you were alive at that point, watched probably one and two,
Yeah, absolutely. It was a cultural phenomenon. And it's crazy that we have a player playing 50 who was on season one. So here we
and,
are.
and season two.
That's right. That's right. So it's pretty incredible. Now, obviously, they've played multiple seasons, but to think that, that they've been with this show for 50 different seasons, just wild. So it really is. If you haven't watched in a while, highly encourage you to jump back in because you'll recognize plenty of faces on this cast.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, I think like in my story with the show is like obviously I watched one and two. I think the only one I did not watch in the real time was three. And I had to double back and watch a few a couple of years down the line. But like I basically since like the middle of four, I basically been like every episode.
I went through a stretch, I think somewhere around in college where I missed a few seasons. And then I remember I was sick somewhere in my mid 20s and went back and watched as many episodes as I could from all those seasons. Obviously, your mind can't store all 50. I don't know if you've seen that funny thing on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it was, where Jeff Probst is quizzed about every winner from every season and he can't even remember them all. So it's a lot, and he can't even remember, even the final tribals, some of them. So um, it talks about the creator of the show, the owner of the show, the runner of the show, and he still can't even. So good on you if you can remember all 50 winners too. So you fill in the blanks, but every time you see a face, you're like, oh yeah, remember what they looked like, and I remember that season was crazy weather, and those people were so hungry those seasons, or oh man, they spoiled them that season. So it's easy to jump back in, and Survivor does a great job of kind of refreshing. But here we are 50 seasons later.
Yeah, let's talk about the cast here. Obviously, 24 people on this thing. This is most they've ever done. They've never done more than 20 before this. They have obviously 12 people pre 40, some of the OGs. They have some people in the 30s who they missed. They've never had a returning season in that span. Then 12 from the new era, where you have like one guy from 42 and then 11 from 45 to 49. What do you think about the group we got here playing 50?
I am a little disappointed, not too disappointed, because I really do think that the people that they chose from the newer seasons, it's the game has changed drastically. Um, there were in the early days, for those listening that don't remember, there were not as many advantages that were put into the game. Extra things that could lead to advantages that would last, that would almost make you too powerful. And we can get into the criticisms of last season with Savannah and that whole episode where she was given just way, way, way too much power. What I will say is there were a couple of glaring omissions, right? And everybody wants to point to Parvati and Rob, and we know they've moved on to other things. They've played the game tons of times. But I think two people keep popping up in my mind when I think about Survivor 50, and there's so many that we could name, from Johnny Fairplay to Rupert, and so many iconic players that you could, think of. But I think the two I would have wanted in this cast, Jonathan Penner. Obviously, I was a big fan of Penner. Um, Mixed emotions on him. Some people love him, some people didn't. But I do think it would have been great to have him. He's gone through so much in his personal life. It would have been really difficult with Penner, but Secondly, is believe it or not, it's Natalie, but it could have been Natalie B or Natalie Anderson.
Yeah.
For me, it's Natalie Anderson. I feel very strongly she's on Traders this season, but she's just such a beast. She is everything that Survivor is about, right? She's bold. She's an endurance and challenge beast. She's not afraid to speak her mind, make alliances. She rarely lies. She works incredibly hard. And down the stretch, she can basically carry her own in everything. So not a single kind of immunity challenge that she can't fight. And I'm like, that is season 50, right? So I think Penner and Anderson for me.
Yeah, I think I will preface this by saying here, like in terms of individual people on here, I have no problem with anybody they picked. Everybody seems to be very eager to be out there, very game to, give it their go, have a lot of fun, and make things interesting for us at home. But I think my issue is more construction of the group, whereas I feel like, especially like when you were bringing as a celebration of 25 years of the show, and I think almost half your cast played in the last 2.5 years. That to me seems a bit off. I get that you love the new era people and you want to see them again, but some of these guys, they're not going anywhere. Like if you do a returning season 54, like you can get some of these guys. Whereas, like if you get like Jerry Manthe back, that would be great to see her again with Colby for the fourth time. Some of these early people, who,
Sure.
like, a couple of years from now, you may not get. And it always strikes me as odd looking at the cast, seeing, like that there is nobody in the 20s who made their debut on this cast, and they got great seasons in there, like Cagayan, Philippines, like they're like there's
Yeah.
nobody in there represented, like where like Malcolm didn't get called.
Yeah, and what about Tony? I mean, how do you not have Tony on season 50? Like, it's just crazy to me too. So, this is a guy who can and do it all. So, I don't know. There's some big ones, as you named. So, it's very strange to me. Survivor 50. I know the whole theme is in the hands of the fans, and we'll get into, obviously I voted every chance I could for every category that CBS offered. But I will say it is a little strange to me. You've got like these mega legends with Suri and Ozzy, and then you've got but in Coach, but you're missing other legends. So um, should they have done old school versus new school and called it Survivor 50? But then you got to get all those Robs and Parvati's and Tonys and all those people, right? Because it just feels like it's a weird hodgepodge. And you're right, the advantage definitely feels towards the new age players. And I don't know why Survivor's pushing that so heavily. Maybe because those players haven't gone on to go to other shows and done other appearances and done
Yeah,
Survivor Australia. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
infamously, I know, like I think in terms of the winners at War People, I know Jeff has said like they didn't want to have anybody from 40 on 50 because they saw all these people and like they want to give some other people a chance to look at this. Like I think infamously, I think with the thing about keeping their people in house, I mean, like that's why I think like the base characters in the new era, Carolyn's not here because I think the production got annoyed. She went and did Traders first.
I know. And it's so crazy because Carolyn is such great TV. I hate to say it. I would have loved her to come back again. It is, her oddball nature, but her actual, feel for the game is incredible. So you're right. That is a real shame that they are so particular about that, but because those people are also just trying to make a living and they do it by going on reality shows. So it's just weird. I think Survivor maybe jumped the gun with season 40. I think they should have truly waited to bring everybody back until 50. So but here we go. Maybe Survivor 75. I don't know how much longer it'll keep going. Maybe they'll finally do it. Survivor 100.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the big challenge you run into with that though is I think like their mistake was I think they waited too long in New Era to have his returnee season where like I think like you could have done something where even like if you want to do a full year of Survivor, maybe 49 is like instead of like the new cast, like New Era All Stars. You bring back all your favorite New Era people, and then you
Sure.
have all the legends in 50. Maybe some of these guys in New Era All Stars come back.
Absolutely. And it is, I don't want to be so blunt about this, but I don't need any more Rizzo and Savannah right away. You know, like I really don't.
I didn't.
I
My
thought,
issue. I didn't need 3 from 48 right away either. I was not crazy
yeah,
about 48.
and and once again, like I think Camilla should have been the only one brought back from that one. I actually don't think that Kyle and Joe should have been brought back.
Well, I think in terms of like the casual eyes, I think nobody in recent years was more popular than Joe. So I think he was a lock as that season started out.
It's crazy because yes, Joe is everybody's dad. He's everybody's hero. He's the good guy. He is tough and he makes you cry because it's like it makes you think about what you want to be as a role model for your own kids. And me as a dad, I'm like, oh my God, how do you not like this guy? But I don't really need that on Survivor 50. I actually liked Camilla the most. I think that Camilla deserves a chance to shine. And having Kyle and Joe there, just I know they're not all in the same tribe, but like she deserved her due. If you would say to me one player from 48, I would have said Camilla hands down. But here we are.
Yeah, let's go with some of these tribes real quick. The Sela tribe is the orange group. The aforementioned Joe, Savannah, Christian, Sari, Ozzy, Emily from 45, Rick Devens, Jenna Lewis, already from the original season. Like, I still think it's cool. Like, somebody from season one here. Like, this group feels fun. I just think like obviously, like you have some real legends in there, and Sari and Ozzy, like Jenna back from season one, the newest winner. Like, it's an interesting group.
I know, and I absolutely Rick is one of the best stories on Survivor, just in pure in terms of how he operated initially and how he fought his way back from the edge of extinction. If you haven't seen that season, like the guy deserves a ton of credit for just getting as far as he did in that game. He'll be fascinating to watch. Christian, how do you not love Christian? He is so engaging and quirky. He is literally the Big Bang Theory on TV, on Survivor. He's just incredible. I love this is the feel good tribe. I literally, when I was thinking through these tribes, I'm like, this is the one that fans are really gonna not want anybody to get voted out except for Savannah. I like all of them. I could see it's actually a shame that if Sela doesn't do great. I feel like how every time there's the three tribes,
Yeah, because that one tribe
there's
sucks.
there's one that's dominant. There's one that just is always finishing second, and then there's the team that's just an absolute mess. I think this is going to be the team that never wins, but never finishes last. I feel like they're always going to be in the middle. I'll tell you why about Vatu and Kalo or Kalo, however we're saying it, next. But Sela, I feel like they are going to be gritty enough. They're going to work together as a team the best. I think that they don't have the best athletes overall or the best challenge, but I do think that camp is going to be put together nicely. I think they're all very good people. Ozzy is going to fish for sure. Christian is going to have a great design. I think that Jenna and Emily will contribute and they'll be very crafty and under the radar. I think Savannah is the massive outcast. And I think if they do lose, get her out of there. That's just me.
Yeah, I do think they tried to set Suri up to last as long as possible, so putting Joe and Ozzy on her tribe to like give
Oh,
a chance to win immunities.
I know. And Suri, obviously, she's always just such a big target, but she's great TV. She's so smart. And I really do hope that she doesn't get booted as quickly she has on the last time that she played.
Well, last time she played, she got infamously got screwed with the advantages in game changers.
That's right. It was, but in
Heroes
Heroes
that
vs.
wasn't,
Villains,
yeah, like
yeah,
still,
she got booted fast.
yeah, still annoys it. Like that she and Tom Weston couldn't get on the same page. I know in a very interesting season they could have worked together.
I know. It's crazy. I think she was what, second out that season?
Yeah, I think Tom idled her out, I remember correctly.
Yeah. So she's had what, four, I think three or four top five finishes.
She,
Yeah.
I think that's the only time she didn't make the finale in her season was that season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She deserves a chance on this one. And she would make a great Survivor 50 champion.
It is. At least we have the trader's title for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sole trader survivor.
The
There we
only
go.
the only trader winner in the US version too, this as of
Yeah,
right now.
that's true. That's true.
Could change it. This could change in 2 weeks, but we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
What do you want to talk about, Lex?
Let's go.
Kalo or Vatu?
We'll go Callow group here. Is Jonathan like the biggest challenge visa of the season? Mike White, which I think we got to talk about him being here, which is fun. Charlie,
Yeah.
Coach, D 145, Camilo, who you're excited about, Tiffany, and Chrissy from 35. So I think this group is fun, and like I think Coach being here is a great thing with this group here. I think like I want to touch on Mike White because I think it's very fun that he's here because like obviously he's like done big on the White Lotus since he left. His time on Survivor inspired the show. He's had people from his cast on like every season, so I think it's fun that he's here because I think he might last a little bit.
I think that this is definitely a Mike is obviously proving that he's not just a casual fan, right? That just wanted to go on one time. Like he's a real fan. The fact, I mean, he's the busiest person on here by far.
Oh yeah.
Like he's running the most popular show on TV right now. Could you say that's non-reality based?
Yeah, it's definitely top five.
I mean, top five for sure. It's hard because Netflix puts out so much stuff all the time, but HBO wise, I mean, White Lotus is we watched every episode. My wife can't wait for the next episode to come out each week. So, there's he's nailed it. That whole genre of you kind of show where it's like Game of Thrones esque, but not, you know what I mean? Like you never know where it's going. So he's a wonderful personality. He's a great narrator for the show too. Like I love when they cut to him just to kind of get an idea of what camp life is like, or what he gives such great metaphors of stuff of what's going on. And he contributes where he can. He is a floater, obviously. He's not dominant in any way, shape, or form, providing challenge wise, not particularly great at puzzles, not even the best social game. He's right smack in the middle of, and we know that sometimes that makes you a target. Um, but I think when I look at Kalo as a tribe, I just get the vibes that they're going to be messy, where Sela is going to be bonded together and Vatu is obviously super, super strong challenge wise. And I think that they'll be a mess eventually, but I think that they're going to win like every challenge right off the bat. And I'll be shocked if I'm wrong, but Kalos seems like the one that they're going to be disjointed. Any tribe that has coach on it is usually a little messy. Um, and that's I think where the chaos is going to come in. I think Tiffany, Camilla, and Mike, I could see them all bonding pretty closely together. Um, and not sure how Dee will do and how she'll fit in on that whole thing. But I think it's just there's too many personality clashes from old school style and then new school style. So I actually think that even though on paper they've got some of these like Chrissy and Jonathan, two of the strongest survivors on their tribe, I think it's going to be a mess. There's too many strategists versus challenge people versus just unique backgrounds. I think that they're going to be the mess of the season.
I think they might be messy at camp. I think they're gonna win a lot because I look at some of the people on that group. You got Jonathan, Charlie won a bunch of challenges his season. Dee won a bunch of challenges her season. Chris, who you talked about, Tiffany can hold her own. Like I think they will be in like good shape to like. And Camilla's a puzzle master, so I think they will win a lot of challenges.
We think that, but remember, you also got to kind of be bonded.
Yeah.
So, and if they're disorganized or they're just not getting along at camp, that usually runs it. I mean, all three tribes are very balanced. Um, I really don't see too much. I do think that Batu, the fact that Colby is like their old man, is definitely an advantage. But then again, like you look at the ages of some of the other people on those other tribes, and you don't see too much drop off. I just think that personality clashes are going to be the big issue on Callow, and I don't see them being in sync, quote unquote, on game day when they go to the big challenges. I just think it's going to be a mess.
Yeah, I think honestly the Batu tries to be the best tribe to be honest with you. That's my sense because I mean that group Colby, Rizzo from last season, Q, who thank God Q is here. Q is might gonna be so much fun while he's there. Like
I
he's
know you love Q. Let's get into that tribe a little bit. Yeah.
Q, Kyle 148, Genevieve from 47, Angelina from 37, Stephanie Lagrosa who was with Sari on Traders, and Aubrey. It was rumor was actually that Amanda Kimmel was in the mix for this at the pull out, and Aubrey got that spot. So this group,
Well,
I think is I'm worried about them because I feel like they're not the strongest of the three. I think they're the weakest in terms of physical strength, and I do think like I could see basically like the Colby Stephanie side sort of like getting into locked odds with people like Angelina and like stuff like that and creating friction in that group.
So the only thing I'll argue with you on and why I think Batu is going to do well in challenges is I do think that Kyle, Q, Rizzo, Stephanie, Colby, a focused Colby, and Genevieve can definitely hold their own. Angelina is definitely, if Vatu loses the first immunity challenge, um, there's no way that they're going to let her float through because last she did that last time, right?
Yeah.
She was not helpful at camp. She was super lazy. She wasn't good in challenges and somehow she snuck through. I think because there's 8 people on each one of these tribes, I think that they're going to target her pretty quickly this time. I don't think that she'll be able to float her way through pretty quickly. I also don't see too many people on that tribe wanting to align with her this time. I think she'd be, I have my short list. We can get into it who I think will be in trouble, and she is on that list. So I do think that Kyle and Q, and especially Stephanie, I mean, Stephanie's one of the strongest women they've ever had on the show. So, you know, I mean, other than the fact that she got hurt on that very first challenge of heroes versus villains, um, I mean, she's pretty tough. So we'll see.
You'll see. Going some other things here. Obviously, one of the controversial aspects of the trail was the integration of the celebrities into the season. Which I don't know about you. We didn't get to vote for this, but apparently, like production voted for this to go in here. I mean, we've seen the trailer. Zach Brown showing up for something. Mr. Beast is there with a briefcase. We heard Rick Devens talk about a Billie Eilish boomerang idol. We've heard Christian say in the trailer that Jimmy Fallon's going to impact his fate in the game. I want to know who asked for this. I know that like there are a lot of celebrity fans. I know Tyler Perry's a big fan. I know Mike White was a fan before he got on. I think he literally got Jeff off of Redemption Island at one point. I thank you for your service, sir, in that regard. But like I want to know like who asked for the celebrity cameos?
Well, yeah, and I guess I'm a little confused by it too because CBS runs Survivor. Mr. Beast does a ton of stuff, A, with YouTube, but also with Netflix. So there's a direct competitor. He also runs his own reality style show, direct competitor. Jimmy Fallon is on NBC, which is a direct competitor to CBS. And then I just don't understand how they're making those appearances and why it's allowed, why CBS would want to promote kind of major celebrities from other channels. It'd be one thing if they like brought Julie Chen out or something from Big Brother or, other CBS programs. Hell, even if they, I don't even know. I mean, I guess there's a situation with the Late Show, obviously with Colbert or whatnot. I don't even know where that stands, but like, it just doesn't make sense that they're bringing non-CBS celebrities onto the show. But maybe you know more about that. I don't know.
Yeah, Leslie's these are all fans of the show. Like, so I think they were. I know Jeff said in an interview somewhere, it's like we got a lot of them like out reach out there in the past, like, oh, like if I could show up for like a couple of days, I'd be happy. I can't commit to like a full season, so I think this is their way, sort of. His thing is like, hey, they're fans too. They should get to be involved in some way. I know Mr. B specifically, like I don't know if you saw in his current season of Beast, apparently they did a crossover Survivor where they did an episode on out in Fiji with Jeff there. So I think this is them returning the favor basically of Mr.
Yeah,
Beast.
then that all does make sense. From what I've read and what I understand so far is obviously Billie Eilish and Mr. Beast, as you said, they have direct impact on the game. From what I'm understanding about Fallon and Brown, they are more so just making appearances of sorts, and maybe are not going to have some sort of advantage they play for. The Mr. Beast case is really interesting, and everything that I'm reading is apparently it's going to make the prize at the end of the season potentially. I don't know what rules are going to come into play where if somebody finds it during the game and they win, they get the Mr. Beast to get to open it as well, or however it's going to work. But apparently, it's going to up the ante of the final prize. So that's what we're hearing. But what do you think about those?
Yeah, the Mr. Beast one I'm very curious about because I know like on his own show he has this reputation like, oh, here's an offer. Like I'll give you like if you want to like screw people over, here's like $500,000 or like here's like
Yeah.
$100,000. He's like, I wonder if this is gonna be something where like, like somebody's in trouble. It's like, okay, here's a lifeline. Here's like you do this, here's $200,000. And then somebody just jumps
Right.
at that.
I know. It'd be really interesting to see if Mr. Beast case is presented to just one fan or one contestant at random, or whether it's presented to the entire group to fight to get a chance to open the briefcase type of thing. So, kind of curious to see how it all shakes out. Look, this cast, if they didn't do any of these celebrity appearances, I think it's still great TV for Survivor fans. I get that they're trying to bring either a new audience into the game by bringing Mr. Beast on and Billie Eilish, who are very, kind of in the social culture right now. They're very popular. Obviously, Jimmy Fallon brings it kind of a, I would say, a more millennial or boomer, I guess, to a degree, population of fans. But then, I think their Survivor is smart to do this because it will get, at least for a couple episodes, some spikes of curiosity. Is it going to make them all Survivor fans? I don't know. So I don't think it hurts because I think for true Survivor fans, we're not looking at this as a start from scratch season. We know all these players, we've seen them all before. Adding wrinkles like this only works if it's in this scenario. If we're starting from scratch with 16 or 18 survivors we've never met before, then it just kind of starts to ruin the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A couple of things I want to touch on here is like number one, like have you kept it up with the old episodes they've been airing on CBS to counter program the Olympics where they have a run like every night for the last like week and a half. I've been recording on the 18th. Obviously, I have watched through the Edge of Extinction one that came out here. Like they've been putting on episode every night. Like, okay, we're gonna spotlight certain people on the cast. So here's some of their favorite moments, memorable moments.
Yeah.
Like, do
I
you
thought I
like
thought it
that
was
strategy?
I liked the idea of putting out those, I guess it's 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Um and I love the idea of spotlighting certain, I like the fact that they didn't just do one highlight show of clips or this and that. I do like that they are trying to push great moments. It gets you more excited again. Once again, does it move the needle for me? No, because I was going to be watching every episode anyway of this season. I love the fact that CBS is putting so much of their airtime and focus around getting Survivor season 50 to be huge. And I think it's a smart idea and it's cool. They're bringing out these great moments from the past, but you and I have probably gone back. I mean, I'm not kidding you. Whenever there's no season of anything on, I mean, I go back and just show my wife an episode or season of Survivor that she never seen before. And so I've been reliving these moments on my own time because everything is on Paramount Plus. But if for the casual Survivor fan who's just like, you know what, let me do it. It's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I love this idea. Just to give a quick rundown to the audience, like this is the episodes that they did so far on the list. They did the episode from Micronesia where Eric gives up the necklace. Probably I think like the one of the most famous episodes in the history of the show to spotlight Suri.
Just insane. I was thinking about Eric when they made this cast.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that one. Got Coach on Exile and Coach gets voted out in Token Jeans, a classic.
That was a great one too.
Yeah.
Every coach moment is a special moment.
Yeah, Heroes versus Villains premiere, which obviously has Coach Stephanie, Suri, and Colby.
One of the best, most physical challenges Survivor's ever had. First episode.
Yeah. The finale of South Pacific, which is the Ozzy versus Coach Caesars, our only 20s representation from the entire cast is those two. So
And Ozzy obviously being a fan favorite for a variety of reasons. That was a heck of an episode.
yeah, they went Chrissy's episode, I think, and towards the end of Heroes Hustlers, where she wins reward and immunity and votes out Ashley. They did that one.
Yeah,
That was
Chrissy is somebody to watch on this season. I really do
yeah,
think that if you're right
yeah.
about Callow and I'm wrong about Vatu, I think that she's definitely a favorite to win.
Yeah, Monday night this week. They did the infamous Natalie, give me like, can I have your jacket episode from Dave vs. Goliath with
Oh
Angelina, Mike, and
gosh.
Christian.
Just as I said, lazy, lives in her own world, Angelina. Somehow, look, if I'm wrong and she makes it to like it to at least the jury, I would be shocked. I think that she is a early candidate to get booted, but great
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
Can I
they
have
did.
your jacket?
Yeah. Last night of recording Rick Devens episode from where like he gets Ron Clark voted out by playing an idol. That was great.
Yeah, Rick worked so hard that season. Once
Yeah.
again, like if you just look at everything that he did, that one episode doesn't do justice to what he had to do with the Edge of Extinction.
Yeah. Tonight on recording, they're airing an episode from 45 where D gets Drew Basile voted out, who infamously goes on to be a Jeopardy champion and go. Like he's in the tournament champions. Like 2 years ago, he was in it. That was pretty fun.
That's wild. Yeah, and D underestimated, right? Obviously, that season 45 is not going to go down as one of the best seasons of all time, but she was a good winner, I guess.
Yeah, two
Depends on,
more. Yeah, I think 46 airing tomorrow is the hide and seek episode for Q, where like he has the spotlight with the Q skirt and like he threatens to quit a tribal, like a lot of chaos there. I'm looking forward to seeing that one again.
I fully expect, Mike, when we check back in, whether it's, we do another episode right before the final episode of this season or not, if Q is there, I expect you in a t-shirt with his face on it because I know you're a huge Q fan.
Yeah, he's so fun.
Yeah, I know.
And the last one is a 48 episode where they vote out Shaheen at the final six, like with Camilla and Kyle basically pulling over on Joe.
Yeah, and that was just I had Shaheen in my fantasy league, and I thought I was a lock when I started seeing that he was not like a big target, but not a small target. I mean, they really Kyle and Camilla sneaky. If they end up at the merge together, these I hope these people all watch that season and understand that if they're on
Oh,
the same tribe or back together again, like that's not going to work. You got to get rid of one of them,
yeah, remember also this they filmed this last summer, so they had
right?
not seen 49 yet. The last thing they saw was the end of 48, so it'll be fresh on their minds.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that I cannot believe that Rizzo and Savannah were basically
They went home.
one, they went home. What did they do? They basically,
They were home for 9 days, according to them.
yeah, 9 days, and then they went right back to play again.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I do
And
think
I
it's
wonder,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, no, I wonder if that is leading me to believe that Savannah doesn't last very long. Somebody who just wins Survivor and wins $1 million and then just immediately turns right back around and plays again, they got to be pretty gassed out, right? Or be
Yeah,
thinking about other things and maybe wasn't
yeah.
planning a start. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's a better winner than I thought she was.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm sure she doesn't have to tell them that she won, but I think like the people there can look at the match. And say, okay, Dee's on one tribe, Kyle's on one tribe. This person never seen it before is on the third tribe. He probably won.
Yeah. Yeah, that is actually something I didn't think about too much was, these people are going to be they're going to ask Savannah point blank, you're from 49, who won your season? Will she lie to them? Will she tell them the truth? And if she tells them the truth, Cerie's going to be like, I don't like this girl.
And, and
So,
and Jenna's on that tribe too. And Jenna infamously hates working with the winners.
yep. So I really think that she's in. You want to go through who we think's in trouble and who we think are favorites?
Yeah, one last thing I want to point out here. I think it's interesting with episodes they gave us here. Like, I think obviously, I wonder if it's tipping their hand to who is going to do well here. I mean, the thing I noticed, I look at the list here is like, there's a lot of coach in here. We got 3 episodes basically centered around coach, and like, I feel like they're telling you he's going pretty far.
Yeah, and that would be great. I just don't. What coach are we going to get in Survivor 50? Are we getting the full on Dragon Slayer, or are we getting the more reserved version of coach that we kind of saw there with Heroes and Villains? But he did so great at South Pacific, so I don't know.
I
What
remember,
are we getting?
I think he's gonna go far. It makes you wonder about also for me like who you didn't get in episode 4, basically, which to me is like no Jenna, which I think that might be the HD thing where like they didn't want because remember her both of these were standard definition. I wonder if
Yeah,
that's that one there.
yeah,
No
it
Jet.
was pretty grainy.
Yeah. Yeah. This the Micronesia episode is standard definition. It was very grainy watching it in prime time in 2026.
Yeah,
There
no Colby, right? Or no
Paul was
Colby
here.
because he
Oh, he
got
was
the
the hero.
Heroes versus Villains
They got him
episode.
there. Yeah, yeah, there was no Aubrey specifically. Aubrey's in the jury in Rick Devens episode.
Yep, and
There-
no Charlie, right?
No, they Charlie's in the 46 episode.
Oh, he is. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, they do that. They did episode 45 without Emily really in it. She's on the jury at that point, which I think is an interesting call there. And there's
Yeah.
nothing from Genevieve in 47, and he could have done Operation Italy, which makes me
I
worry for her.
do it, and maybe they're alluding to it, but they did cover a pretty good amount of the cast itself, right? So, other Mike White,
Well, Mike's in that
obviously,
episode. He's an episode. He's at the tribal where Natalie's voted out for the jacket too. So he's in there.
right. So, I mean, they might be alluding to it, but I don't know if we can learn too much from what they
I,
did with the encore episodes.
I'd say put that in the back of your mind when we watch the season. See if we were onto something with this.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I could be wrong, but I just get a vibe about Callow, and I just don't see. I see a couple of them. I mean, well, then again, it's hard to tell. Like, what are the challenges going to be? Are they swimming? Are they pure physical obstacles? Like, what are we getting the first few episodes? It will dictate, you know, what we're going to get as a winner. I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly who's going to do the puzzles for each tribe, but I mean, Camilla's really good at them, but we'll see.
All we know is Rizzo's not doing it for his tribe. He told us that last season.
Yeah, no, Rizzo. I actually really hope that we get very little Rizzo as well.
Yeah, so let's go here. Like, couple things rapid fire here. Give me three players you think will do well this season.
Yeah, I definitely think Chrissy is gonna do well. I definitely think that Q will do very well as well. And I have to say, I think that, Christian is gonna find a way to align himself with the numbers. He's always thinking about the game. I think if he pairs with Suri, I think that could be a really sneaky combo on that tribe and really dictate things behind the scenes. So I really do. I like Christian to go a little bit further than he did last time. Obviously, he didn't, he got himself caught off guard by Nick and that alliance. But you know, I really hope maybe internally I'm thinking Christian, Chrissy, and Q.
Yeah, I think the ones I will go with a couple different picks. I agree with some of your choices there. I think Coach is doing well. I'm going to buy into that theory that we're getting a lot of Coach because he's going to last a while on this season.
Okay.
I think you'll get. I will say. I think also. I think Joe will do well. I think Joe will be around for a while. I feel like Joe is somebody they're going to say, okay, he's a straight shooter. Helped us win challenges. He's loyal to his people. He will be here a while. I think he's going to be there. And
Yeah.
I think I'm with you on the I think Chrissy's a great shout there to do well. I think I'll add that third pick. I feel like she's somebody who's not a threat 'cause she's by herself and like she'll get scooped up
Mhm.
pretty quickly and work with people.
Yeah, and the question is going to be like, okay, are they all fearful of Camilla, or does Camilla kind of integrate in? She's another one that I really do want to do well. There's a difference between who I think will do well and who I want to do well. Um, and she's obviously one of them because Survivor is not necessarily always about the physicality. I think she is so. I just remember 48. She was always one step ahead. She had a good plan, and whether you liked it or not, what she was doing to Joe, um, she was really the main strategist on that entire season. Kyle obviously won the challenges and whatnot and positioned them, but Camilla was kind of the goat of the strategy side of things. So I'm curious who she's going to pair up with on that tribe, though.
Yeah, one other one I forgot in the who will do well group. I think Tiffany will do well because I think she's one of those people who fits that classic mold of like, okay, how are they on the season? How'd they get here? And then obviously look up, oh, they're in the final five.
Yeah, no, I can see her. And once again, it's all gonna come down to you know are the tribes truly balanced? Because remember, we haven't seen a lot of these players that are the non-season 40 characters, that are coming back here. Like, what kind of shape is Ozzy in anymore at 43? What kind of shape is somebody like a coach who's now 53 years old. So I don't know how time has taken on them. We think of them all as they're in their primes, but it's been a long time. And time is, as I'm starting to feel in my later 30s, I'm sure you feel the same way. I mean, it does slow down. So the tribes that are in, that's why I feel very strongly about Batu, because they do have a bunch of people that are in their 30s and 20s. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, the other way, who do you think is in trouble here, like early on? Because I think like I'll throw a few out here because I do think like obviously I think the 49 people I think are in trouble because I think there are people on there like all the heroes of people, villains, people who have PTSD from Russell will look at these guys and say we don't want to do this again, or we don't know what you're doing. I think also people coming in with like recent threats, whether it's those winners that we know about, whether it's Genevieve who is perceived to be like a cyborg in her season, or it's the trio on 48. I think there's gonna be a lot of like big targets people are going for.
My list of biggest trouble: Savannah, Rizzo, Angelina, Stephanie, only because Stephanie's personality rubs people the wrong way. And she's
Yeah.
gotten herself, obviously she's very strong on social media politically, and that's probably not going to fly with everybody on that tribe. Um, Rizzo is just annoying. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but that's just my thinking. I think Colby could be in trouble if he doesn't go back to the old Colby, and he doesn't like show up. Colby obviously has had seasons where he just seems disinterested. Um, and obviously he was dragged along. He didn't deserve to be in the final five for Heroes versus Villains. He really didn't. He didn't. He just seems so disinterested with that entire season. So I really do hope that he has bounced back. Um, and then I know here's the funny thing. I wrote this down before we even started talking. Coach is either going to be in a great spot or he's going to be targeted quickly, because I wrote down coach versus everyone else, right? So people are either going to be like, oh man, this is great to play with coach. Let's align with coach and let's do the whole Dragon Slayer thing. Or it's going to be like, coach is weird. He doesn't fit in with us. Let's get him out. So um, I don't know, but it's usually one way or the other with him. It's not like he can just tag along anywhere. He's such a presence around camp, and some people can, I guess, think his whole Tai Chi thing on the beach thing is either weird or annoying. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
um,
I'm bullish on Coach.
I know you're bullish, but I wrote down as my fifth spot of people in trouble: coach versus everyone else. So
Okay. All right. Well, wrap up your last question here. Well, obviously it's a split between 12 people pre-40, 12 new era people. Like which side of the aisle gets the win here?
I hate to say it. I want the pre 40 to win, but I think it's going to be a post 40. I think the new age players are just so used to the weirdness of the idols and the they are so much this day and age of I and it's weird too because okay, nowadays how you communicate with people is so different than how you would communicate to people say in Jenna's seasons, or people that are over the age of 40, right, versus the people that are under the age of 40. The newer players tend to skew a little bit younger here, right? Nothing against like Mike White or anything, but like Tiffany 34, Jonathan 32, D 28, um, Charlie 27, Angela 35. They're all kind of in this, Kyle 31, Rizzo 25. All of these kinds of players are, Christian's the only weird one in that, I guess he's still 37. So I thought he was past 40, but no. Um, all of those kind of younger people, they communicate in different ways. They're a little bit more socially awkward and they bond together in different ways than some of the OG players. So I think that it's gonna be leaning towards this kind of new era of people who usually communicate via the electronic device and not really on an island alone. So I think those people will bond together a little bit harder than the other ones. And I do think a new age player is going to win.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna pick old school to be different. I do feel like a lot of these new era people are gonna shoot at each other. I feel like they're gonna like say, okay, like you're a big threat, you're a big threat, you're a big threat. Whereas, maybe somebody like, let's say like, maybe Mike White floats around because they're not worried about him. Say, oh, he doesn't need the money, like he'll just stick around. Or like maybe Chrissy gets like pretty deep in the game because they're not worried about her compared to like we have to get rid of Genevieve. I think like that could happen.
We've never seen it. I trust me, I'm with you. I want an old school player. I would love for Ozzy or Suri or somebody who deserves it. Somebody who, like, when you put their face in front of the Survivor 50 icon and say sole survivor of season 50, that's what we want, right? We want it to be somebody that we grew up kind of embodying the game. We want Coach to be the face of it, even how funny that would be.
Yeah.
Colby, say what you want, but it would be crazy to see his face as the sole survivor season 50. It should be Rob or it should be Parvati, but we don't get that. So here we are with this cast, and that's what we want in our hearts as fans. Um, you know, but I just get this vibe that the game has changed, and there's so many elements that those old school players can't account for. And the sensitivity of these younger people that are on the show now. And you can't get away with challenging somebody at camp because they're going to cry and you're going to look bad. So everybody's so much more in tune with their emotions now. And that might be a bit harder for some of these older players. So I don't know how that's all going to fly.
Well, we'll see what happens. Season premieres on Wednesday when you're listening to this here. 3 hour premiere, which is the first two episodes back to back. So that'll be fun.
Absolutely. We're super excited. I'm going to force my wife to listen to this episode for sure in the car so that she knows exactly what's happening and who everybody is. And I'm gonna push her. She every Thursday she's waiting for Traders to come out, the final episodes here. So I think I have convinced her finally. She's really grown interested in the people like Natalie, who she didn't really get to see too much of on Survivor. And I'm like, hey, guess what? There's a ton of them out there, and they're all awesome. Wait till I tell you about a guy named Ozzy who you've never seen an episode of. Let's take her back and get her acclimated for season 50. So it'll be fun to watch with somebody who doesn't know a lot of the stories, and then I get to share them with her. So it's a cool experience for us, and it's exciting that we're here at season 50.
Plus, I think if you want to go on that Traders well, like I would not be shocked somebody on this season is on Traders 5.
Savannah needs to be on. I hate to say she'd make a heck of a trader. It would be even funnier to see her as a faithful. Um, personality wise, Mike White, why isn't he not on Traders? Right? Like,
Yeah, I think
he
like
fits in with the whole celebrity thing. He's a reality show. Like, I don't know how much time he's got, but like Mike White should be on Traders next
yeah,
season, right?
yeah, like Peacock would be dancing if they can get Mike White to do that show.
I know, right? And like, I really hope that they would do that. But looking at this list of people, and obviously discounting Suri for
And
having been
Stephanie.
on, and Stephanie, that's right. The glaring one is Savannah. She would be so good on that show.
Yeah, I will throw a couple more out here because I think you were right with Mike White being like the great shout here. Coach on Traders, like can you imagine Coach of the Round Table?
It would just get weird though. It would be like Tom Sandoval, but Tai Chi version. So
Yeah, but you need that kind of those chaos agents, and like I will again. I'll throw out. I think like Q on there would be fun
yeah, absolutely.
because you want people who are going to bring the crazy to the round tables.
Absolutely. But remember, Traders is also a bit about fashion. As you've seen, everybody is always dressed in these crazy outfits. You have to have somebody who also fits the pseudo celebrity vibe of the show as well. I don't see that as much with Coach. I don't. I could see Savannah being that way. It's like it's this weird kind of take on fashion, murder, and gameplay all mixed. I mean, look at Natalie on this season. She looks like a model at every episode, and I'm used to seeing Natalie in the same kind of sports attire on a beach hustling with coconuts running back and forth, right? Like, it's weird to see her on this season when that's not the Survivor version that we got. It's just different. Tony was wearing a sweater on the show, when he was on Trader season 3. So um I don't know. I think that we can go into Traders another day. I think season 3 wasted too many big names. You can't have Rob and Derek and all those people, Big Brother, Best, and Brittany and all of them on one season. They should have spread those out. But anyway, I if you had to say, I would definitely think Savannah would be the best for that show.
All right, absolutely, Dan. Thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. If you want to follow you on social media, how can I do that?
Yeah, DMart207 on Twitter. Obviously, we were talking about this before, but big game this weekend for Duke playing Michigan, and it's almost March Madness time. We'll be excited, and golf season is in full gear. We will probably catch up around the Masters or maybe the PGA Championship and kind of talk about all the craziness going on in golf.